Hey guys, so this is all about how to tape up your indoor line markings. Now, there's a nice, neat little way to do long lines. In fact, I'll show you that in a second, how we pull the tape out and get the really long lines. But for this bit, I'm going to show you the small intricate areas. And what we're doing here is we've got a solid infill of green, and then we've got the yellow band sort of lines, if you like, along the edges. What we want to do is create the space here. Now, yellow lines are going to go in here. Now, it appears, I mean, from here it might look like it's only a 50 mil. It'll actually be 100 mil. And what we'll do is we'll paint the green in this side. Then once we've finished, we'll peel this bit of tape up, and we're going to stick this bit of tape on top of the green once that's all set, and then we can paint our yellow in. So the first thing we're going to do is get the 100 mil width for the edges. Now, when it comes to tape, I think one of the other important things to consider is the quality of the tape you're going to use. I only use 3M 101E. It is the best tape I've ever used. It doesn't leave any sort of residue or stickiness on the floor. It gives you a perfect finish every single time. So that's my recommendation. You'll pay probably £3.10, give or take, for a roll. It's worth every penny, don't go for the cheap stuff. So what I've done here is I've put my first line along the edge. Then what I wanted to do is create my 100 mil gap. Now the way I've done this is I've literally put a piece of tape on the floor, butted up to the very edge, as you can see, like so, and then just tear it off. Now I would do this beginning, middle and end. And then all I'm going to do is run a piece of tape that butts up to these pieces. So as I see here, bear with me one sec while I concentrate. It lines up across these bits of tape here, right to the end. And what we've done is we've created ourselves a gap. So from this edge of this tape to the edge of this bit of tape, so I'm going, just press it down, this edge here to this edge here is now 100 mil, and that's what we're looking to paint with our yellow. So the way we'll make this look right, we'll paint the green in first on this area. Once that's painted in, we'll peel up this piece of tape, and then we'll move the tape on top of the green, and it will create the sharp edge where our yellow is going to go. That's going to give us our perfect 100. Now, I say perfect 100 because we call it a 100 mil wide line. When we're shot blasting in just the line, it is 100 mil, that's what we do. But that's because the shot blaster's got a plate in. On this one, it's actually going to be slightly smaller, and that's because the tape itself is 48 millimeters wide, not 50. So we're going to lose 2 millimeters for each piece of tape. Now that's okay. I think you wouldn't see 4 millimeters over the length of the line, and it won't make any difference to it whatsoever. It'll look absolutely spot on. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to run this edge in, tape this bit up, and then I'm going to add this little guide in. We're then ready to paint the green in the middle, peel up these edges, and then we can paint the yellow in once that's all cured. Let me just crack this one in for you, and I'll show you how we do the longer lines in just 1 second. Here we go, we'll pull this in. So when I'm doing the longer lines, this is the process I would use. I literally stick one piece of tape down on the very end. All I'm going to do is walk it off and get it pulled in where I need it to go. Now, when you get accustomed to doing it this way, you just need to press it down once you're done. When you get accustomed to doing it, one thing you'll actually be comfortable doing eventually is running two pieces at the same time. And you can pull in a whole line. So let me show you, here's John, in fact. So what John's gonna do is pull in a line from the start here. So we'll stick our line down and literally just press the tape onto the ground. It's a bit of a dusty site, this one. So just tread on it like that. That'll just help it adhere to the ground properly. And then when you pull it, there we go, just nice and shallow like that. Don't lift it high up in the air, keep it close to the ground. Pull it all the way along. And then all John's going to do is eyeball where he needs it to go and literally pull it down now on the chalk line. And so one thing you must remember to do is to keep it low level. Don't lift it up really high when you're pulling it. Just keep it low, otherwise you'll end up pulling the tape off the ground. All we're going to do now is we're just pressing it down. Now you can use a roller or you can just walk on it like John's done, and that'll press it straight down onto the ground. What he's doing here now is just to add that 50 mil gap for us. So he's going to put the tape on the ground and then run his next line in. You see here, he'll press down on it again, and then he's going to keep the tape low to the ground as he does it, stops it pulling up, and then he's got a 50 mil gap to go at the very end. And all he's going to do is line this up now Absolutely perfect. Now, when you get accustomed to doing this on longer runs, you can actually pull 2 bits of tape in at the same time, and then all we're going to do is stamp it in as usual. So much like the other lines, what we've got here now is once John's painted the green in on this side, he's going to peel this piece of tape up, and this is going to move onto this bit here on top of the green, and that will give us our 100mm line that we're going to pull in. Let's just watch one more going in here. So we're onto the edge, stamping it down, and then keeping it nice and low. John's just going to pull it all the way along, line it up to the edge, and then press it straight down to the ground. Now the nice thing about this is if you do get it wrong, you can always lift up in the center, readjust it, position it back in where you need it to go, and what you'll be left with are these taped out lines ready to be painted. So the bit we're ready to paint now is the middle piece, as I mentioned. So this is going to be green for us. So this will all go into green. Once this is done, we'll move the inside bits of tape here. They'll go on top of the green to create our 100mm gap. So we've got 50mm here, 50mm here, and then it'll give us our nice 100 all the way along in yellow, and it will look absolutely amazing once that's done.